You know what I've realized recently in life? You can do everything right and still get rejected. You can show up every day, say the right words, show that you care, and still get told no. And more oftentimes than not, rejection isn't a loss. It's just redirection. A saying that I go by is rejection is God's protection. And I do believe that to be true. And I've had a lot of rejections in my life. Girls, jobs, friends, opportunities that I really wanted. Each and every one of these rejections felt like I was getting shot in the chest. But over time, I realized something. Those rejections were the very same things that shaped me into the person who I am today. They made me more resilient. When you're young especially, rejection feels so personal. It's like proof that you're not good enough, especially when it comes to maybe talking to a girl. You start thinking to yourself, is there something wrong with me? You start questioning your own self-worth. Or maybe you went for a job interview and you thought you absolutely nailed it, only to get rejected a few days later. All rejection is, it's never failure, it's always feedback. Each and every single time you go through these rejections, you're supposed to take something out of it. When I first started creating content, I got ignored a lot. No one cared, no one watched, no one commented. And for me that felt like rejection, it hurt quite a bit. But now that I'm sticking around, I'm realizing that the people who make it in doing content creation or anything else in life aren't the people who don't get rejected. They're the people who outlast rejection. What I want you guys to imagine is rejection as this filter, and it just weeds the people out who fold easily. Slowly but surely, those who are resilient are the only ones left. And I'll give you guys an example which is probably relatable to a lot of you, but there was this girl I liked in secondary school or high school if you're from America. And for the most part, we talked, we laughed, we shared jokes, and everything seemed to be going cool. And then I popped the big question. What are we? You know, the question that you usually ask. And I was hit with in the face of rejection. It was I don't see you that way. We're just better off as friends. And of course, that stung. And of course, I didn't hold the same amount of emotional intelligence as I do now than back then, because of course I was a kid. How could I? So the typical questions start spiraling in my head. What did I do? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe it's the way I phrased it or presented myself. You start questioning your own self-worth. The funny part is it took me a few months of reflection, maybe even a year of reflection actually, to realize that rejection isn't about your value. Sometimes it's not about your value and it's all about alignment. Sometimes in life you guys really need to get to grips with the fact and accept the fact that you're not meant to fit into every single puzzle. That's the mindset shift I had to learn, the mindset shift that I had to embody. The law of detachment, although I wasn't really familiar with the concept back then, it's the mindset shift that helped me change for the better. See, the moment you can finally say, I don't need things to go a certain way, life feels a lot easier. You stop over-explaining yourself, you stop doing things that don't need to be done, you stop looking for validation. Because if you really think about it, rejection only stings if you've attached yourself to the outcome. For example, a lot of you guys might say, I didn't get the job, I'm trash, I'm this, I'm that. And then you start beating yourself up, your self-dialogue is poor, or she didn't like me back, there's something wrong with me. When that's not the case at all. You start basing and building your peace around somebody else's decisions, especially when you've just met them. That's the quickest way to your own demise. But when you fully grasp the concept of detachment, you think to yourself, if it's for me, it will stay. And if it's not, then something better's coming. I feel like that mindset shift, just applying that stoicism, can definitely change you guys' lives. And I'll give you guys another example. I remember once there was this time where I tried to apply, I did apply for a marketing job. And I perfected my resume, I built it around this job specifically, tailored it towards them. I sold myself pretty well. And guess what? There was no rejection, not even a rejection email. Just silence, and that silence used to eat at me. I pretty much got ghosted, not even rejected. But now I understand, it's just life's way of saying, and I think God's way of saying, that this isn't the one for you. The few months passed and it gave me time to start focusing on my own thing, because at the time I needed money, so I started up my own side hustle, and honestly, between the two things, I think that was the much better alternative. So it ties back to what I was saying, guys. Rejection is God's protection. And I think you guys would have experienced another level of emotional resilience. For example, the same heartbreak that would have affected you deeply at 16 years old, you face it 23 years old. It might sting a little, but after a few days, you're absolutely fine. That is emotional growth. That is your emotional resilience getting stronger. You start realizing, oh, I've been here before, so I can survive this. That's what I mean when I say rejection makes your heart harder. It doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear. Because after enough no's, you start thinking to yourself, I won't chase what's not for me. Instead, I'll preserve my energy, because now you understand its worth, you value it a lot more now. So having said all of that, how do I personally deal with rejection? I accept the fact that it's happened, I don't overthink it, and I don't beat myself up. I give myself time and space to feel it, and then I move on. Because I know, Lord knows, whatever is set to be mine in this world will not require convincing. The same applies for you guys. And if it does require convincing, if it does require you to chase that thing, then just know that it's never going to be real. And that's the power of detachment. It puts you back in control. You stop allowing other people to have control over your worth. You stop letting circumstances dictate how you feel about yourself. Because when you build confidence within yourself, you stop letting rejection bother you. It just becomes another event and not another identity crisis. And now that I think about it, if I could tell my younger self one thing, it would be, don't let rejection make you bitter. Instead, make it, or rather let it make you better. Every single time somebody says no, every single time something doesn't work out, there's another layer being built, and that is you working out your emotional muscle. Because a trend that I've seen in this life is that the people who do make it big, the people who do go on to do great things, they're not the ones who didn't get rejected, but they're the ones who kept going despite all that rejection. So next time you face rejection, just smile, because both life and God just redirected you to whatever is meant for you. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps this message reach a lot more people and help a lot more people in a community full of like-minded individuals on a self-development lifestyle. Then I'll leave a link below in the description and also the comment section. So if that sounds interesting to you, then feel free to join, click on the link. And yeah, guys, that's been my take on rejection. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.